Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Brandon. Welcome to Audio Addiction, where you can find latest album reviews. You can find our band interviews, and you can find live coverage of the concerts that we get. I'll be posting a ton of live content, hopefully very soon. Has to post Lizzie Farrell's set, as well as 4 Year Strong's acoustic set. So if you're a fan of those bands, which if you are a fan of this band, I feel like you'll like them as well. Definitely be on the lookout for that. I also posted an album review of Crystal Lake's newest record, Helix, so check that out as well. Ton of interviews, album reviews to come in the next couple weeks, so definitely be on the lookout for those things, and an interview with Felicity coming out very soon as well. So speaking of that, tonight we're going to be talking about Felicity's newest record, Old Habits. So I've been a fan of this band for a pretty long time. I actually interviewed them a couple years ago, and I don't think they had anything released, or they had something released at the time, but I hadn't reviewed any of it. So this is technically the first review that I've done for them, which is awesome. Shout out to them. Congrats on the new record. But I like that their combination of like post-hardcore, there's a little bit of easycore influence in there, obviously pop-punk influence as well. And they really kind of, for me as a listener, catch my ear, and, I obviously want to show love to the homies. So I had to do this record for review. So I'm going to go through each track, give you my thoughts and opinions on it, go through some pros and cons, and then fish it out with an overall rating. So the first track is called Trigger Happy. This one's one of my favorites. I like that they start off the record with this one because I feel like this one definitely gives you a great idea of what the band sounds like if you're a new fan of this band or you just happen to stumble upon this video. First of all, thank you. Secondly, this band has kind of that combination of easycore. They have some pop-punk influence. They have some post-hardcore influence. They have even a little bit of metalcore influence as well. And I feel like they blend those very well. And this song feels in particular very much like a 4 Year Strong track, A Day to Remember, a little bit Neck Deep here and there as well, which is great because they all pretty much have worked with Andrew Wade, more specifically A Day to Remember and Neck Deep, but they have that sort of great hook to them. I think that obviously borrows a lot from 4 Year Strong and A Day to Remember. They have some phenomenal hooks, and that is, obviously evident in the chorus of this track. Really, really great chorus that kind of brings you in. The whole song kind of has that sort of vibe to it, starting out with this sort of kind of like very melodic and like sort of happy intro that kind of builds to a really great point at the beginning of the song. I love the incorporation of screaming. I think it's always welcome. As many of you know, this channel is mainly focused around this sort of heavier styles of music, so whenever screaming is involved, I love it, so I had to point that out. This one has some great melodic qualities to it, has an awesome groove to it, and I think that has a lot to do with the great songwriting that they've able to achieve on this record. This one in particular being one of the better ones, and it is obviously evident in this track. So we're gonna move into track number 2, which is Circles. This is another favorite of mine as well. I love the intro of this track. I think it is phenomenal. This one has more of a sort of rock, sort of post-hardcore groove to it, very much along the lines of Silverstein, which they reference a few times throughout our interview that will be coming out very soon. And you can definitely hear the influence of that. I would say more specifically in the choruses, you can hear that sort of Shane Told sort of quality that Damien brings to his vocals. And, obviously being a pretty large Silverstein fan, that is a great compliment. I definitely feel like this one has more an aggressive tone to it in comparison to Trigger Happy. But I love the diversity. I think it's a welcome addition to not only this EP, but just in general. I like when bands kind of step out of their box. They do something a little bit different, and obviously kind of remaining true to who they are. So I feel like this one kind of combines not only that sort of vibe, but also them staying true to who they are as Felicity. So we're going to move into track number 3, which is Tough Luck. This is the most recent single that they have released, and this one is one of my favorites as well. I love this one, has more of a straightforward sort of punk vibe to it as well, but obviously Again, much like I had mentioned Circles, this one also has a strong sort of Silverstein vibe to it as well, which is again another welcome addition and isn't a bad thing to this song as well. I think that Damien brings a lot of warmness to his vocals in this track in particular. It just has this sort of great encompassing quality. The melodic nature of the song really drags you in, and is obviously one of the better tracks, notably being one of my favorites. The bridge is definitely my favorite part. I love this sort of divergent vocal layering that is going on in the track. I would love to hear more of that throughout the record, and I think they did a really great job. I think that obviously has a lot to do with, Andrew Wade doing a lot of mentoring and helping them arrange tracks in the best way. And I think that this one came out phenomenal. I love the sort of vocal patterns going on. If you're familiar with the channel, you know that I love great harmonies. So whenever that's incorporated, I think that really usually makes for a pretty good song. So we're going to move into track number 4, which is The City Beautiful. This one has a great bounce to it. I think the melodies, I can speak. The melodies are executed very well, but this to me has that sort of typical pop punk sort of vibe to it. The group vocals were a nice addition, but it feels very much along the lines of things that I've heard before, and just listening to pop punk for a long time. Not to say that it's a bad song, it's just one that didn't grab me as much as maybe somebody else who liked this track a little bit more. I would have loved to hear just a little bit more vocal presence. I think with more of a happier sort of upbeat track, I would love to hear sort of maybe some like soaring vocals, or maybe some falsetto or something that would have made it a little bit more interesting. I know that Damien kind of keeps his vocals kind of, I wouldn't even say in a box, but he kind of keeps it into his comfort zone, and I would love to hear him kind of go out and do a little bit more vocally. That would be awesome. So we're gonna move into track number 5, which is Call Sign. This one is another really great track. I think another cool point to point out in this track more specifically is the lead guitar, either done by Corey or Andrew. I'm not entirely sure, or if they just kind of interchange, but I like that it's more pronounced. I feel like a lot of the other songs that preceded it didn't have that sort of lead quality to them, and I think that is obviously a great point in most tracks, and I like that one is kind of exclamated in this track in more in more of a pronounced role, as I mentioned before. I like that Mike kind of has his sort of moments on bass as well. I think that is further stated in the next track that we'll be talking about in a minute. But it has some really great groove bass lines into it, and I think it gives a good mix of everybody, not only from Damien doing vocals all the way to doing Tyler doing drums. I think it is a great mix of everybody in the band. I think everybody contributed, and that's what I like particularly about this song. So we're gonna move into the last track number 6, which is Weekend Warrior. This one is the first single that they had released. They released like a music video for it as well, and this one is one of my favorites. I think this one is easily the best song that they've written as a band, and on this record as well. I think it really just kind of culminates what the band is doing, what they hope to kind of achieve, and what they hope to kind of pull in as new fans and new listeners, and I really feel like they do that. This one has a great groove to it. I think that vocally Damien did a little bit more to step up. It has a little bit more punch to it. It has a little bit more vocal presence. It has a little bit more vocal just kind of length or experimentation, however you want to word that. And I think they just did a little bit more to make this one a little bit more punchy, just a little bit more in your face, and I like that. The chorus is absolutely fantastic, and I think it combines a lot of the best aspects that I had been talking about on this record, whether it be the sort of more easy core aspects of the band, the more kind of like more post-hardcore sorts of styles of the band, and obviously the sort of pop punk values that they draw from in this sort of genre of music. And this one just sends it home what they're trying to do what they're trying to accomplish musically, and I think they do a fantastic job on this track. So some pros that I have about the record: I think it's groovy, I think it's catchy, some really solid songwriting and structures, and it has that sort of classic sort of easy core pop punk post-hardcore sorts of vibes. So if you're a fan of A Day to Remember, 4 Years Strong, things of that nature, you will definitely dig this band. But if you're a fan of like Silverstein, that kind of incorporate some punk aspects but are more on that post-hardcore side of music, I definitely feel like you'll enjoy that as well. So I feel like they bring the best of both worlds. But this record isn't without its cons either. I would love to hear some more vocal diversity from Damien. I think he does a really great job of kind of keeping that sort of mid-range of vocals. But as a fan, I feel like he should go out and try to do something, experiment a little bit more, try some falsettos, maybe have somebody else do like some harmonies alongside Damien. That would be really cool. I think it would break up that sort of not monotony of Damien's vocals, but I think it would just add another layer, a little bit more diversity, a little bit more texture to the song itself or to the record itself. It doesn't have to be with every song, but I would love to hear a little bit more punch in that regard. I think a good example of that is Weekend Worrier. Like I had mentioned before, I think Damien really kind of stepped out of his vocal box in this track, and I would love to hear a little bit more of that. Also, I'd love to hear a little bit more risk taking. I feel like some of the songs kind of fit into that sort of mold of cookie cutter in some respects, which isn't bad because there's plenty of bands that do that, and I think they do them well. But I would appreciate some more risk taking. I think tracks like Circles and Tough Luck, while they, obviously pay homage to pop punk, they also have that sort of post-hardcore sort of vibe to it with the screaming and stuff like that. So I'd love to hear a little bit more of that, a little bit more aggression, a little bit more power. I will say that this is kind of more along the lines of an EP, so maybe they didn't have the time to express where they were going and kind of doing more different avenues of the record. So maybe in a future full length, I'd love to hear a little bit more aggression, a little bit more experimentation, and I think that would really kind of send this home. They are a really solid band. I know that this last half has been a little bit more a dig on the band, but I think that constructive criticism really kind of pushes a band to do a little bit more, be a little bit more thought, put a little bit more thought into it, and just have a little bit more of a will to do something different, a little bit more push to do something interesting. So my overall rating for Felicity's Old Habits, I'm going to be giving it a 9.5 out of 10. I think it's a record you should check out. I think they are a solid band. There's obviously some solid songwriting in this band, and I think that they can improve on it for sure. I think that any band can improve on what they do. And so I feel like this band has a solid base, and it's only there that they can build from it. So great record to kind of start off the year with. I know we're already in February, but great little EP to kind of get things going, and I hope to hear more of what they do in the future. But let me know in the comments what you think about this record. It's been out for a few days now, so I'm really curious what you think. If you agree, if you disagree, I'd love to know. I'd love to have a conversation with you guys, that. And if you are new, please feel free to comment. I'd love to get some feedback on that. So if you enjoyed this review, make sure to subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, and share it around. It goes a long way. Thank you guys so much for the support. Also, thank you for supporting me for the past 3 years. This month it's been 3 years since I've been doing this channel, and I am literally astonished every day when I check the channel out and have people send me emails and stuff like that. So continue to do that. I love seeing that, and again, I can't thank you so much for your support. I have some cool stuff coming up that I will be sharing with you very soon, so definitely be on the lookout for that. And thank you guys for watching. My name is Brandon. We hope you got your fix, and we'll be talking with you soon. Peace. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com, and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.